Okay, Jerry Paper, how are you? We have started.
Hello. I'm good.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. We don't know each other, so you're maybe one of the first podcast guests I've had that I absolutely have. My name's Ruben, and I reached out to you because I just love your music. It's so good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm gonna switch around my chairs.
That's all right.
All right. Okay. There we go.
Nice. So I just wanted to ask, I guess we can honestly talk about anything and everything,
Yeah,
and whatever you want to talk about. But you are one of the few people who released music this year. At least there's a lot of people releasing singles, but you put out like a full album this year, and certainly this year is not what you thought it was gonna be. So
absolutely not.
So how's it going? Like, how are you feeling? How's the record doing? How are you doing?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely weird, very weird to release music now just because, I don't know, I feel like the only way that I really see how, I mean, I don't know, I don't really know even what how the music is doing means.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't know, I can never really tell what's going on unless I'm at a show.
Totally.
And it's fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I felt very disconnected from music this year.
Yes. Yeah. I've talked to a lot of people, and it kind of feels that way. Like, I don't know a lot of musicians who are even. A lot of people don't feel motivated to write. Like, are you still writing right now? How are you feeling?
Barely. I mean, I kind of took like a few month break just because. When have I ever been able to do that? I don't know. It just feels like music has been such a central part of my like sense of self for, since I was a young teenager.
Yeah.
So this was kind of the first time that ultimately it's been like ripped away from all of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this is the first time where I've really taken the time to like step away and be like, who am I? Like,
totally.
What's going on? And so I mean, like that. It's been interesting to be able to do that, and I think for a little while I was like, yeah, I'm doing this on purpose, and then I think in the past few days I'm like, I'm not doing it on purpose. I miss it so much. Like I miss my normal life.
How long have you been playing music?
I mean, for since I was a kid, in some way or another, just always took music lessons, played music. But
what was your first? Because you play almost everything, right?
Yeah, everything. Like I feel like a lot
rock
of
band,
things not very well.
Yeah. What was first?
Yeah, first I think when I was like 5 or 6, I took piano lessons.
Oh, cool.
For a little bit. So that was kind of like my first thing. And then I played drums for a little bit, but I was never particularly good. And I also didn't really have the ability to practice. And I was in like the rock band at school, but the person who taught the rock band also had a drummer child.
Yeah.
So that kid was always the drummer and I had to play bongos.
Oh no.
So it was like I wouldn't really say that like I played drums, but like I didn't really get to a point where I actually played with other people enough. But I would say like the primary instrument that when I really started focusing on music as a creative outlet, because when I was much younger, it was really all visual art. Like I was really into animation and drawing, and that was like, and honestly something I haven't done since then. So I was thinking the other day, actually, it would be interesting to like try to do that again and see if I'm so bad.
Yeah.
But either way, like the thing that I really focused on was bass. Like that was really what like took me off into like, oh yeah, this is how I can express myself, and this is something that is very important to me.
Oh, whoa, yeah, bass is the one thing I haven't played like in another band. Like it's so awesome. It's so fun.
It's the best instrument.
Yeah,
I mean,
totally.
It just is.
Oh man, is it have you had any songs that kind of started on bass?
Sorry?
Have you had any songs that like started on bass?
No. I mean, I feel like bass is a hard thing to start with.
Totally.
Like, I don't know. It's never it can't be an ingredient on its own, really. I mean, even like, I don't know, like just long gratuitous bass solos are not for me, but
Yeah.
I feel like the role that it plays within the larger context of band music is it's just good. I don't know. It just sounds good. It feels good. The like interplay between like being a rhythmic instrument that also has some sort of melodic sense to it. I like what it adds to music. I don't know.
Have you played bass for other people's bands, like touring as just a bass player, or?
No, the only person who's ever asked me to play music in their project is Jackson McIntosh. Do you know who that is? Great music. But he's the only person who's ever asked me to do anything, and that was play keys. So I do that for like a couple shows.
Oh, that's awesome. I've been like thinking of this idea of like touring with other bands, because I've only toured with my band. I've never been like a band member.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. No one's ever, I mean, no one really asked me to, so I never really did.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know I've only toured with I've toured solo myself and then toured, with backing band. But
what was the big differences between playing solo by yourself and now with this band?
Pretty big difference. I mean,
minus like the music, but like the feeling of post-show.
No, I know. Like the experience as a whole is like radically different thing, because instead of like when you're touring in a band, there's like you're glued together. Like, you got to take your time away from them on the road, but like, generally speaking, like you're a unit traveling together. You have friends. You're like, you don't have to like thrust yourself into like weird social situations as much. When you're like alone, you're kind of like, okay, I guess like here I am, and this is what we're doing. Cause
totally,
like, I don't know. It feels like a little more, like free and weird and hard.
Yeah.
But also like it was also more financially feasible to do like international tours when I was just starting out, which was cool.
Yeah.
So like, I would have like very small following that was, through the internet. So there would be like small international pockets. So I'd be able to like do a Europe tour for a few weeks and just play like tiny towns in France and just like end up hanging out with people.
Yeah.
It was very fun, and a lot of like wistful looking out of trains alone, like, which is just very different than like driving through Nebraska with your friends while you all listen to the Anthony Kiedis, like, or you listen to like that was Europe, but you all listen to like an audiobook.
Yes.
You have these like collective experiences, which are amazing. I mean, it's amazing. They're just very different.
There's like a weird like thing that happens when you're on tour. Like the first couple days, everyone's just, oh, I love this song, check out this song, and then like you hit a peak of like, okay, I don't know, and then you move to podcasts, or then maybe you do something else, but like listening as a collective in the band, like, I don't know, has all these weird different ups and downs and valleys.
I know. I feel like generally speaking, it's like you got 2 to 3 days of like, this is fun, and then like and then you're like, okay, like I just gotta do my own thing, like I need time alone, like I gotta figure this out. It's more of like strategic like socialization, and it's touring is a very funny experience. I miss it so much. Really, like, I mean, like you said, like the album came out in May. I was planning, like, this year would have been a big travel year, presumably. So it's so weird. I feel like all of the structure of my life has disappeared, whereas like, generally speaking, there's like the structure of my year of like when I'll be touring, and then within those months that I'm home, I'm able to structure things more, and now it's just like I I don't know. What, like I'm just like trying to figure out what to do all the time.
I've always think of my life like 6 months ahead. Like I'm always looking forward to something. Oh, we're gonna record in 6 months. Okay, after that, then we're gonna tour, and it's like, oh, I'm just hanging now. Yeah, my girlfriend thought it was still.
I know.
April.
Now it's like, yeah, exactly. It's like it's so confusing. Like I get emails from like one of my booking agents being like, so maybe like at this dates we can do it. I'm like, listen, I don't. How am I supposed to know? Like, why should I even try? Like, let's just wait and see what happens.
Totally.
And then when it's over, we'll figure it out.
Oh man, yeah, I see a lot of people rescheduling dates for next year. I'm like, oh, that's optimistic. That's very optimistic.
Yeah, I'm like, what? Like, I don't know. It's all looking good for us.
And what about the drive-in shows? Does that seem like...
That sounds such a bummer.
It's so weird. Like, I can't even...
Playing to cars.
That's really dipping into like Wall-E kind of vibes. You know, everyone's like in their own personal little pods. Like, have you seen that movie? That Disney movie?
Yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah, so I feel like we're just getting closer and closer to that, like every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I've talked to a few people about you. I'm a big fan. I know you're a drummer, Teddy. I don't know if he's still playing drums with you, but Teddy was playing drums with you for a little bit. I saw you. Yeah, awesome, great drummer. I saw you
know Teddy
through Gardens and Via, because he was playing drums for them for a little while, and we're both from Santa Barbara, and they live in LA now. Yeah.
Nice.
And then I saw you at the Lodge Room in I guess in 2018.
2018. It was my bass player's birthday?
Possibly. It was the Lodge Room. I think it was June.
I think 2018. I'm pretty sure it was in June. It was probably June 1st.
Definitely before like A Baby came out, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it was like I was listening to the show. I had just met my girlfriend at the time. We went to the show and I heard all these songs. I was like, oh my God, all these new songs are so good. Like, was there a feeling around Like a Baby? Like you knew that, oh, maybe this album's kind of different? Like just by writing, maybe in the writing process or the touring process of like, I think this record's going to be special.
I don't know. I mean, I hope all of them are special.
Totally.
I think I just like, it was the first one for Stone's Throw, which was cool. But I don't know. I mean, every record is its own journey.
Yeah.
Like a full,
Totally.
So I don't know.
I just remember, at least
I wish I could answer that question better.
I think that's a thing for fans to kind of think about, because I saw you and I was like, oh, this record's going to be insane. Like, but when you're in the motions of it, it's all the same,
Well, it's like, it's all crazy.
Did you record that one yourself?
No, that one I recorded in Toronto with Maddie Tavares from Bad Bad Not Good, formerly of Bad Bad Not Good. We recorded in the Bad Bad studio there, and it was mostly me and Maddie doing the recording. There were a few other people who came in and helped. This drummer, Evan Cartwright, also from Toronto, played on that record. He also played on the new record. And this person, Khan. There were a few people like coming in and out and doing things. But generally it was me and Maddie.
How many, and I think I read somewhere you spent 9 days making it?
No, that was Tune Time.
Oh, Tune Time was in 9 days.
I think that was 14 days or something.
Yeah.
Maybe it was 12 days. It was like we did one 5 days stint and then one 9 day stint. That was it. Like in May or something, I went for 5 days, and then in September or August, I went for 9, and we just like banged it out.
I think there's
this one took a couple weeks. Took a couple weeks of like recording, and then I did some recording at home and mixing at home.
there's like a Steve Albini quote. I don't normally quote Steve Albini, but I will right now. But he says, like, if a record takes longer than 10 days to make, you're doing something wrong. Obviously, that's like in a punk mentality. Like, but like, I always thought about that. Yeah, is that like, I don't know. And then I read that quote that you worked on that album. I was like, oh, maybe he likes doing records in 10 days. Like, I've recorded records in 10 days, and it fucking sucks.
I mean, how do you also like? How do you really define doing it like working on a record? Like what? Like just the recording process or the mixing too? Like what are you talking about there?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'd have to ask Steve Albini, but I'm assuming he means I'm assuming he means tracking. That's my guess.
Just tracking.
Yeah. I think you could track in 10 days. It's going to be like kind of stressful, but I think you could.
Yeah. I mean, you have to have everything planned out. I feel like I don't know, the record Abracadabra, the recent
new one, yes.
That one was more like studio experimentation just because I was recording it in the Stone's Throw studio, which is close to my house. I had like it was a little more like leeway in time.
Yeah.
I could spend like trying things out and playing with different studio techniques, which was super fun. Just
That's
like,
awesome.
You know, having access to things that I never had access to before. So
yeah,
I was able to just like play around, try to make a hi-fi record.
Totally.
For fun.
Is that studio? That's the studio that's in Highland Park?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I used to walk by there. I used to live on 53rd in Monte Vista, right next to that.
Oh, nice.
That place that has the good sandwiches. I used to walk by Stone's Throw a lot. Just like try to peek in, and then someone's looking at me like, "Why are you looking in here?" I was like, "I'm just trying to get a peek." But that's such a cool label, like that. Like for like years, it seemed like it was just a hip hop label, but with like you, Los Retros, and Mild High Club, it feels like they're branching out, and I don't know.
Yeah, I mean they've always done their own thing.
Yeah. And it sounds like they kind of give you the freedom to do whatever you want.
Yeah, definitely.
There's really
no nice. They don't have any like I don't know, input on the records, which is cool.
That's so cool. Yeah. What else could you ask for, I guess,
Yeah.
I asked the internet for some questions, and somebody asked they wanted to know how the collaboration with Wise Blood came together.
I've known Natalie for years. And yeah, I mean, I knew her in New York when we both lived there. And then I think we both moved to LA around the same time. And I was just like, I don't know, I was trying to record a version of Like a Baby in my basement and just like doing as much as I could. And I was just texted her and was like, hey, do you want to sing on this? And she came over and did it.
That's awesome.
I think it turned out totally good.
Yeah. That's awesome. Another thing I read, somebody also asked about drum microphone placements. I don't know if you want to get too deep into that, but go ahead.
I mean, I don't know. I don't even know.
Yeah. The microphone you're using right now, do you do a lot of vocals with that?
Oh, this, yeah. Yeah, the AKGs.
That's awesome.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, drums, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm not an engineer.
Okay, yeah. So what's your setup at home? You said you also record some stuff at home. Is it kind of just like a basic Focusrite, or like what kind of stuff are you using?
Yeah, I mean, I do some stuff at home, not like a ton. I mostly do like demoing and stuff.
Oh, okay, cool.
And then like I'll do like, I don't know, sometimes I do soundtracks for things and I'll do that at home.
Yeah. I watched The Day World.
Oh yeah, Day World. Yeah, that's the best.
It was hilarious.
Yeah, I know. I wish there was more of that.
I watched that and I just like was thinking about, it made me think about the first time I started watching Adult Swim. I don't know if you're a big fan of that channel. And it just made me feel like, oh man, I really have been. I was in the 6th grade when Adult Swim came out, so I don't know. What's your relationship with Adult Swim? Not professionally, but just like the kind of content that is produced. Like I see like a lot of like,
I mean,
similarities there.
When I was a kid too, I just like, I was really into animation when I was much younger, so I just loved Cartoon Network in general. Just loved watching cartoons, Hanna-Barbera cartoons, like so I remember also like when I was able to just stay up a little late, and then it would be like Space Ghost Coast to Coast and the Brack Show. Like I just remember like loving that shit so much.
Yeah.
So it was I don't know. I mean, as a kid, I remember it being a very exciting
Totally.
thing.
Yeah. Did you see they're all on HBO Max now?
Oh, all the old shows?
Some they have a pretty good collection. Like Space Ghost is there, Brack is there.
Sweet.
They just added
Gotta
Tim and
check it
Eric. I'm trying to think who else is on there. But yeah, Tim and Eric, massive influence, I think, on a lot of people. But I do notice there's like I love a lot of the videos I see you in, because it feels like an Adult Swim kind of vibe, and I was always just curious on the influence there and how much there was.
I mean, I don't know. I guess I work with people who do a lot of work with Adult Swim, and
Cool.
I also like do a bit of work with Adult Swim,
Awesome.
doing like music for different things for them. So there's definitely a crossover.
Yeah.
And yeah, I like Alan Resnick, who has done a bunch of great little like short film things on Adult Swim. Did one of my videos from the last album. Was gonna do one for this one until pandemic hit.
Totally.
But yeah.
How serious were you with animation? How close were we to just never hearing your music and just you?
I mean, it was like
route?
all I wanted to do when I was like 8. So it didn't get much further than that. But like I was like obsessed. Like it was my that was my fantasy.
Nice. And when did music take over?
I mean, I didn't really start taking it more. I wouldn't say seriously so much as like it didn't start to become like a creative focus until I was like 14, maybe. And then I would just like spend a lot of time just like making albums in my room. So I would just like be like, okay, now I'm gonna write 13 songs and record them, and then I would just like make an album and be like, cool, I made an album. Now it's time to make another one. Just like make albums.
Are those albums anywhere?
Fun. No. I mean, they're just like they were just like a teenager making music for fun.
Yeah.
I mean, not that there's really that much difference between what I do now and then, but it was just like, kids are stupid and the things they make are like I wouldn't want to listen to it.
Yeah. I think I've been pretty fortunate.
I mean, maybe it's of interest to somebody, but
the diehards.
I don't know. I'd have to find them. Yeah.
I think I've been pretty fortunate that MySpace like wiped away all the music, so now all my old high school bands are they're gone. The music's gone. There's no proof.
Does MySpace still exist?
Oh yeah. You're talking to a MySpace Artist of the Year of the month. I think like in 2015 or something weird like that. It was
Crazy.
so weird.
It's made it into this new decade. I'm gonna look it up right now.
Oh yeah. I just got an email that someone tried to connect with me on MySpace. On my burner email.
MySpace.com still exists.
Oh yeah.
Ariana Grande's on here. We got Foo Fighters.
Rock and roll.
Wow. Fascinating.
It has to be losing. There's no way they make money on that website anymore. Like,
yeah,
who goes on there?
Who uses it? I guess the Mariah Carey does, according to the homepage.
Yeah.
Very confusing.
Yeah.
It's very confusing what MySpace is right now.
I know.
Weird.
I haven't tried to log in a very, very long time.
Yeah.
Another thing I saw you on is Eternal Family on YouTube. What's the story behind that channel?
I mean, it's not a YouTube channel. It's a full on streaming service. It's
Oh,
its own website. You can get like an app on Apple TV and
really?
watch stuff. The YouTube is just to promote the shows.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, I do. Well, I was doing a couple shows on there. I more consistently do one, but there's one that's just like experimental animation mixed with like I'll pump out like 10 or 11 minutes of like just kind of experimental music, and then someone will do animate to it. So we have 2 episodes of that one called Transmissions from Boink.
Cool.
And then I have my own show called Jerry Paper Teaches.
Yep.
Which is super fun. We just did a live stream version on eternal.tv. The website is eternal.tv.
We'll put it up there,
we just did a live stream that was like a remix contest for the previous episode of the show, which was so fun. It's
awesome.
archived on there if you want.
I will definitely.
It's like $5 a month. It's a really cool service. It's started by one of my best friends, someone I love deeply, Cole Kush, who... Yeah, it's like kind of, I don't know. I mean, I think it's growing into like, worker-owned creative collective thing of like, the only streaming service that operates like that, where
totally
the proceeds are like, if you subscribe for $5, 60% of that goes to the creators who are making the things. 40% just goes to like running the back end of the website, which is, it's extremely cool and wonderful. And there's so much good stuff on there. There's like a lot of, weird new shows. There's, like Mac DeMarco has like a recording techniques show. There's like, my friend Jason Harvey is actually doing a live stream today in an hour, which I think will be very good. He's like one of the funniest people I know.
That's awesome.
I love him very much.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's great
they
to have
a lot of like a Film Board of Canada stuff too, like kind of like weird documentaries.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. It must be great to have something like other than music to be able to be creative with and to do something like that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, it's always good to have many outlets.
That's the whole reason, the point of this thing, like, it's just something to do.
That makes sense.
And it's it's like something it's like something I can put out that isn't like I can't release a song like every week, but I can do a podcast every week. Someone wanted to know your favorite city pop record. I don't know if you're a big city pop fan.
I don't know. I'm not good at favorite.
Yeah.
I'm not good at that concept. I feel like there are a lot of city pop records that I like. Some I even love, but I don't know how to choose a favorite, because I feel like it just depends on what I'm in the mood for, what time of day it is, what activity I'm putting it on during. Am I driving? Am I doing dishes? Am I just sitting there?
Yeah, I always have such a big problem with the names. Like, I could tell you the album art, I could tell you what it looks like, but I couldn't tell you the artist name, or it's like,
I mean, I can't remember the name of any song or any artist. I can't remember anything.
Yeah.
Like I don't have that kind of like catalog like memory of like, oh yeah, the like 1995 recording of this. Like I don't know. I don't know most song names that I like.
Yeah.
Like, I love it, but like I don't know. It just, how do you remember all this stuff? It's just a whole bunch of words.
I know. I did a podcast the other day, and they asked me, so what are you listening to right now? And I'm like, I don't really listen to music that often. Like, I don't know. Do you feel that way? Like, because your world is so involved with music that's sometimes hard to listen to music?
It depends. I mean, it just depends on where I'm at. Yeah, I don't know. I guess through the pandemic, I've been going through phases of like, can't stop listening to music, and then like, can't think of what I want to listen to. I find that I like exhaust my things that I love
Mm-hmm.
pretty quickly. Like I'll listen to the same album like for a week straight and then be
Yeah.
like, I can't listen to that album for a little while.
What was one of those albums recently that made you do that?
Introduction by Mr. Fingers.
Hmm.
That's been one I've been
Cool.
really into. I just been like lately, pretty much the thing that's been resonating with me the most is techno and house.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just like the best music. It's the best music.
That's awesome.
Um,
That's like a major blind spot for me. I had an ex who was like really into like techno and house, and I have some knowledge of some stuff now, but like before I really had nothing, you know. I know the music feels better with you, or the music sounds better with you. I know that song.
Yeah.
That's probably like saying I know the Beatles, but like, you know, that's as far as I've gotten.
Oh, you should listen to this Mr. Fingers record. I feel like it's like the perfect music.
Yeah,
like, it just sounds so good. It really just sounds so good. I also had this interesting experience with not Mr. Fingers, but Fingers Inc., which is like a band that he was involved with. There's this Fingers Inc. record that is extremely strange. And we were like listening to it a little bit on this tour, and like I feel like no one was like loving it. And then in New Orleans, we all like we had a day off and we took some acid, and there was just this one moment where we put that album on. It was just me and my guitar player, and we just like it just like clicked. I was like, oh yeah, all this like just vocal soloing like crazy over this weird music makes so much sense to me now. And now it's like I love it. There's this one line, I can't remember. This is one line where someone just keeps saying like, "Oh, that flavor is not for me," like over and over again. It's so good. It just makes me so happy.
Sometimes, you know, like an acid trip or something like that can really like open it up to new experiences. You know.
Yeah. That when I was a teenager, that unlocked disco for me.
Really? Yeah.
It was I was like very closed off. I was very closed off as a teenager in general, and just like very stubborn and very much like had very clear ideas of like what is good and what is not good. But like just had a series of like unlocking experiences where I was like, actually, like maybe there are many different kinds of good and many different ways to experience the world. And
totally
became, I think, a bit of a more open person.
Yeah, my uncle was like falling into his schizophrenic phase, like right when we were getting towards the end of high school, and he went on this crazy rant one night, and I was just like listening to him go through this rant, and it was just about like what makes good and bad music. Nothing. It's all subjective. It's all like, I was like, wow, and that's what I was like, you know what? I need to drop my fucking ego and just like, if it's good, it's good. And that's why I have a problem with the phrase guilty pleasure. I don't have guilty pleasure. I like it. If I like it, I like it. And I, you know.
Totally. I mean, I think one of the best ways to look at it is like, how does it make you feel? And like, if you're listening to music that you think sucks, but it makes you laugh and you think it's like, it makes you happy, even if you're just laughing, that's good. That means that means the experience is good. It gives you something that feeds you in a certain way. So like, I feel like it can really like expand your idea of like, I don't know, how to engage with music and how to appreciate certain things that are, you know, you initially are turned off by it because you're like, well, this isn't like good.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, but it's pretty freaking good.
It's true. Yeah. It's all about feeling like that's how I feel with like modern music that I hear on the radio. I'm like, oh, I shouldn't like this. Why am I liking it? Well, maybe because I just like it and I should just like it.
I mean, it's programmed for you to like it. Yeah. They made it so that you'll like it.
And it works every time.
That's why people like pop music, because they made it for you to like it. It works.
Yeah, it's true. Is there a song like that for you that you're like, oh, I shouldn't like this, but it's so good?
I mean, I don't have the I shouldn't like this
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I like lots of pop music.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm like that with Ariana Grande. Every time she releases a song, I'm like, wow, that's a
Wait,
great
who? Sorry.
Ariana Grande.
Oh, Ariana Grande. Yeah. There's
That's a great pop hit.
good Ariana Grande songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we can move on, man. I had some questions. I saw something. I read a bunch of interviews yesterday prepping for this because I don't like asking the same questions, but like you can always touch on stuff. But like, who are your like 70s Brazilian idols? I've noticed you've talked a lot about loving bossa nova and 70s Brazil music. Like, who are some of your people?
Yeah, I really like Hilden. Na Rua, Na Chuva, Na Fazenda. I don't know. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that, but that is an incredible record. Chico Buarque, Construção is a really good record.
Yeah.
Edu Lobo. I can't remember what the Edu Lobo album is called. I can't conjure it. I really like this Javan record called A Voz a Violão, I think it's called. There's I don't know, there's a lot. I mean there's so many good.
Totally.
Feminina by Joyce.
Yeah.
Or
those are
whatever,
great records,
however
man.
you actually pronounce her name. Yeah, there's so much.
Have you seen that? Have you seen that label, Mr. Bongo?
Yeah,
that's a great label, man. I've found some very great 7-inches because of that label. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, I love. Have you listened to Sandra Dessa?
No.
Oh, she's like Tim Maya's niece.
Oh,
it's
wait, Sandra what?
Sandra Dessa, Desa, but it's two different. Sandra Dessa. And I can't remember the name. It's like something about City Last.
Oh wait, you know what? I think when I was in Brazil, someone gave me this record or a record of hers.
Ooh,
like a weird like 80s record. I didn't love it actually.
Yeah,
it wasn't that good. But maybe it was just not a very good record.
No, yeah. There's only like one song I really love, but the song I love is the banger.
Cool. I would love to check it out.
Dude, I will email it to you.
Cool.
Yeah. Tim Maya, Marcos Valle, those are some of the people like we usually listen to a lot of that while we're on tour.
Yeah.
Especially when you're on the road, like just trying to listen to some international music because you're just kind of listening. I don't know. How are you with do people give you a lot of like demos on tour? Do you like that?
It doesn't happen that often. There was one tour where every show someone gave us a demo and every band had the word Velvet in the name of the band, which was very funny. It was like it became like a joke because it was just everyone just kept. It was like every band has the same name. This is crazy. They all sounded so different, but they all had like basically the same band name. It's very funny. But yeah, no, I don't get demos so much. I mean, I don't know what I mean, I guess people email me demos a lot. But I don't really know what they want me to do with it. Because like, I don't know how to I don't know what to do with that.
Totally.
I can't help you.
I'm barely trying to help myself. That's what I always tell people.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
That's so fun. That used to be my main move growing up, though. I go to like a Dr. Dog show and I drop it off at their merch guy.
Oh, I mean, me too.
Really?
I'm not criticizing people because I was for sure in the same position.
That's hilarious. Yeah.
I remember like giving Devendra Banhart my like a burned CD of
totally.
But it's just like
what can he do for you?
Funny to have been in that position and then now to be in this position and be like, yeah, I mean, what am I supposed to do with this? Like, I don't run a record label. Like, I can't help you.
I know. Oh man, yeah, I love it. There's still something like ritualistic about it in indie rock or just in rock and roll.
No, it's
like,
sweet. I mean,
it's so sweet.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's so funny. But yeah, exactly. What the hell I can barely help myself. But I did read somewhere that you like, this kind of connects, like you asking, the dude from Mile High Club to talk to Peanut Butter Wolf for you. That seems like something for me that would give me so much anxiety, and I don't know if I could like ever reach out to one of my friends who was on the label. Like, was that scary for you, or did you just like, did it felt natural?
No, I mean, it was pretty casual. I mean,
Cool.
I feel like if you have talking to your friends isn't that hard.
That's true. But asking, I have problems with asking for things, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, they don't have to do it.
True.
It's not going to ruin your relationship.
Yeah, that's true.
You can just say no, or like, I don't feel comfortable with that. And then you go
Yeah.
like, totally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, man.
But yeah, I don't know. I just like, I'd finished Like a Baby, and I was like, cool, I have this record. Like, I got to figure out how to put it out. Like, I want someone to hear it. And I wasn't on the label that I was working with before. So I was just trying to figure out what to do. Well, I'd sent the album to the label that I was on, and they were like, "Oh yeah, actually, we don't want this." So then I was like, just kind of in this position where I was like, "Okay, I got to figure out how to put this album out." So yeah, I just reached out to Alex and was like, "Hey,
man,
will you talk to Peanut Butter Wolf, please?" And
Yeah.
he said, yeah, no problem.
Oh, that's awesome. That's amazing, man. I think that's such a scary position to be like in between records and you're showing it to the label, and I don't know. That sounds so scary to me. How did you handle that time? Was it scary for you, or were you?
I mean, I feel like that's the inevitable part of being a musician who's not like super famous. You're always going to be going through like peaks and valleys. Like, okay, I got to figure out something. Like, okay, I have a little bit of stability. Nope. There's like no stability in this kind of life. So
Yeah.
Really, like there's barely even the illusion of stability, which I feel like comes with like other kinds of work.
Totally.
But there's just no illusion of stability. No matter where you are, it always feels like your world's about to fall apart. So I don't know. I guess I maybe have just become callous to that, and
That
like
might
feel a little like it just feels like this is what my life is never being sure what's gonna happen.
It's the life we unfortunately all of us chose, and it's like so. I don't know. I get freaked out all the time. I never used to be so freaked out though.
Doesn't feel like a choice.
Totally.
I don't know what else I would do.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. Touring is gone. Recording. I guess that's the best we can do is just do demos at home right now and wait it out.
Yeah, I've been trying to like grow plants. Like I haven't. I've never been able to like have a garden because I'm touring and stuff. So trying to do that and trying to figure out maybe how I can keep that going even after I tour, because I quite like it.
What do we got going right now in the garden?
Growing some Thai chilies, some tomatoes. I had a bunch of other stuff, but this is my first time doing this, and I've historically been extremely bad at keeping plants alive. So this was kind of like an exercise, not only in like, I want to learn how to do this, but also like I am quite bad at this. Yeah. And I want to do something that I'm bad at, that I can like fail at so that I can learn and just let myself like go through this experience of like fucking it up and then trying to do better over and over again. So, it's also just such a long process of like growing plants, and you're like, things are going so well. And then all of a sudden, like 2 days later, you come and you're like, oh, looks like there's some sort of infestation. So I had some like carrots and stuff that got infested with aphids, and there's been issues, but I'm growing some weed, which is fun. I'm growing some San Pedro cactus. I got some I got what I thought was a watermelon sprout from a friend who had sprouted it, and it was kind of like looking fucked up, but now it has become clear that it's cantaloupe. So
good.
It's that one's looking pretty good. I don't know. It's fun.
Yeah, I was like getting so annoyed at the beginning of the pandemic with like the lines at the grocery store. I was like, I'll just grow my own kale. So I started doing that, and then I don't know. it fell apart. Like you said, it's like trial and error, you know, maybe the next time I grow kale, it will be better. And yeah.
I just feel like very committed to being not only being okay, but like very much acknowledging from the start that like this will probably go badly, and I want to like use that as an opportunity to grow and like learn, instead of just being like, this fucking sucks, and then like stop. Which I feel like is like, you know, a pretty
I think that's a healthy
it's a normal
way.
response.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to, you know,
do you think you use do you think you kind of have that mindset for a lot of things you do in life?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, definitely like when I don't have that mindset, I am paralyzed and I don't end up doing anything. So like when I'm making music and I'm thinking about getting it right, then I end up not making music. But if I'm making music just because I'm okay with writing like if I'm writing a song and I'm okay with writing a bad song, then the song will get done. But if I'm writing a song and I'm like, this song has to be so good, then I will never finish writing that song.
Yeah.
Because I'll just be paralyzed by being like, is this good? And I'm like, what does that even mean? Like, I'm just making music because this is my way of expressing myself. If I get lost in, you know, the idea that I have to do it right, then I'm lost in like a weird framework that actually has nothing to do with music.
I think that's a great way to battle like writer's block, which is just like get it done, just like finish something, even if it's not like how you may want it, but just to say it's done. And it's important to be able to complete things, I think.
I mean, you don't really get to, I don't know, it just depends on how you write music. I mean, I think that's like when we're talking about pop music, it's like pop music is made to be good. It's made to be like digestible, and you know, like you hear it and you're like, this is all the parts come together to create what has worked over and over and over again for forever. Whereas like if you're just making music because you love making music, it's not going to sound like a pop song. It's going to sound like whatever you have to get out at that moment.
True.
Which, like, again, like, there's nothing wrong with either way. They're just not the same.
With your lyrics, I've noticed that they're, you know, in the best way. They're all over the place, like in the best way, you know? Like they seem like they're about different stories. Are these stories about your life, or perhaps stories that you read somewhere, or...
Sorry, what's the question?
With your lyrics, like I hate the word inspiration, but like are these lyrics about your life, or are they about like maybe a story you read somewhere, or because they seem to be
I mean, I think like generally I mean, I guess I don't really know how to answer that question. I think everything is about my life, or everything is about my experience of the world. It just, they don't necessarily have like the details of my life. Like if you're writing a story and like, I don't know, when people say like write what you know, they don't mean like write the literal scenarios that happen in your life. They mean write the experiences of like disappointment or like joy, like the experiences that you have in the world, and you can map them onto different stories. So in the past few records, I've been writing stories that aren't necessarily like taken from my life, but I think they do reflect aspects of my experience of the world. So I would say that they're stories. That I write to explain the way that I experience the world.
Yeah, because I was thinking about the lyrics in Hala. Seem like, you know, maybe you read that. Maybe that's like a news story you read, and then you maybe put that to a song. It just talks about doing, you know. But I guess the crimes you talk about in that song, the crimes, you know, are figurative.
Choi is about like, you know, I guess the point of that song is to get into the head, or like to I don't know. I mean, a lot of it comes from like being on tour and like I don't know, whenever you're driving through the Southwest, there's always like these weird little desert towns, or even like Joshua Tree or something. When you
Totally.
meet like the what's up? Yeah. Oh, hold on one second.
No worries.
Basically just like to understand a certain way of looking at the world and like this feeling of feeling like you know, like you're a victim. Like I feel like this victim mentality of the American right in particular was something that I don't know. I just felt like to explore that in not such a caricature-ish, well, maybe that's not the right word, but like to explore that in a way that's not just like, look at this right-wing idiot, but to look at like just a person who might have some experiences that you relate to and some that you don't. So like, you know, someone who lives in the desert and likes to play the piano and uses a lot of lip balm. Like, I don't know, just like trying to create this experience that wasn't so straightforward, I guess.
Yeah, that seems like a great way to look at the world, and maybe even like a great writing exercise for people. Like, I think a lot of people who do listen to this podcast are just like aspiring musicians and writers. Cause that's like the people who DM me and tell me they love it. So it's like, I think it's great for people to hear that, man. Like, you can kind of like get inspiration from anywhere, and you don't always have to write about yourself, or this is the way you conceptualize the world.
Yeah. Or like you take an experience that you have of like, I don't know, like let's say you are going through a breakup. You don't have to write a song about a breakup. You can, there are like a million different kinds of loss that a person can experience in the world. Like you don't have to be so literal all the time. Like I think it can be interesting to map experiences onto different stories and investigate like the feelings that you have through different things, or like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like maybe there's no way that I can explain that clearer right now.
That's okay. Yeah. Another song my girlfriend asked me to talk to you about was Reprogram Yourself. And what's that song about? And what does that song mean to you, and how'd that song come about?
I mean, definitely, you know, it was written very much when I was, you know, a college student. I think it was, I mean, it was right around, not I think, I know it was right around the Occupy Wall Street protests, and very much like that feeling like, can we actually change, and will the world be okay? I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's just like leaving it in a place where like, I have no idea. We'll see.
And
like, will things get better? Will they get worse? I don't know. Can we change the fucked up way that our society works? Like, I hope so.
And it's been a while since Occupy Wall Street, and we still don't have answers.
No, I mean, I do think that it had a profoundly positive impact on the world. I mean, you know, it's funny because so much of like the popular rhetoric around Occupy Wall Street was like a waste of time, and it wasn't clear what they were asking for and all these things, and it was for sure 100% clear, and it had a lasting impact on, you know, getting young people to look at the, you know, the world and see what American culture is and what American capitalism is, and to understand like how, you know, lopsided this society is. So I mean, I think it was a success for sure.
Yeah, and it got the conversation up, like, and that was like the precursor to Bernie Sanders having such a I would consider a
Exactly.
successful.
Bernie would not have been a major candidate
Yeah,
if Occupy Wall Street hadn't been a thing.
totally.
Just like, I mean, the protests these days, like, they might not have as immediate of an impact as we want them to, but I very much believe that we will see a shift in the culture in the next decade.
Totally.
Because that was, Occupy Wall Street was like a decade ago, basically.
And that's kind of how I also feel about Bernie. Like, I think Bernie was great, and it showed that these ideas could run and be successful. Now, I think we'll actually see something happen with this next wave of politicians who get older, people who are our age, who get more serious about politics. And yeah, I think we'll see something.
I hope so.
The needle will be moved again.
So. I mean, again.
Yeah.
That's anyway, that's what that song is about. It's about this feeling of like, can we do it? Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, we don't have to completely rant
it's
about
funny because
politics,
I didn't realize that it sounded like a love song.
It totally does.
Until much later, like, because people, seemed to suggest to me that that's what they thought it was about for so long when I would tour and stuff and I would talk to people at shows.
She had.
So I started doing like an intro at some shows that were about like, this is not a love song. This is about culture, about the world.
Oh,
this is what I wrote that about. But also, whatever it means to you that's what it means.
Yeah, so my girlfriend had that on her Tinder bio. That's how I was like, oh, she's a Jerry Paper fan. Cool. That's awesome.
Cool.
Also, that happened to me in 2008 with Radiohead. People started like making out next to me during Fake Plastic Trees. I was like, this isn't like a romantic. Oh, it's this Radiohead song called Fake Plastic Trees. I was a massive. I don't really listen to them anymore, but in 2008, I was just graduated high school, and it's like the song kind of talking about just like, I don't know, the environment and how we're just gonna have fake plastic trees, and it's like this thing, and then people were just making out all around me. I was like, this is not a makeout song. Like, this is not. Yeah. So I think it's good. Yeah, I think songs can have a different meaning. I thought Reprogram Yourself had to do with like DMT or something like that, like literally reprogramming your brain.
No, I mean, it was, the language is borrowed from Programming and Metaprogramming the Human Biocomputer. It's this like John C. Lilly book. I was like, skimming that at the time. It didn't really like, I wouldn't say that I read it because it's just like a fun kind of like wordy pseudoscience essentially. But I very much like enjoyed like skimming it and looking at different ideas and playing with those ideas. So the phrasing is borrowed from that, but the song itself is more about people gonna be okay.
Aw, I know. I feel that. A few more questions and then I'll let you go. Thanks so much for talking to me.
Yeah, no problem.
I was gonna ask one thing I missed while we were talking about Day World. Did you like scoring? Do you like doing that kind of stuff?
I freaking love it. I mean, I wish more people would ask me to do it. It's so fun. Yeah.
What are some of the challenges? I scored one project for a friend, and it was harder than it seemed.
I mean, it just depends on who you're working with. Like Day World in particular was just that's like the dream project because that was with Cole Kush, who, proprietor of Eternal Family. I mean, him and I just have a very good working relationship. Like we really respond well to each other and very much like it's just extremely easy to work with because like to work on that project was just me making music, sending it to him, being like, okay, great, I like it.
Awesome.
And it'll be like, cool. So that was it. That's fun. And then like there are certain other people that I've worked with that are it can be similar in certain ways. And yeah, I think it just depends on how much your sensibilities jive, your like artistic sensibilities. Because if you're working with someone who like there's certain people you work with who will just be like, yeah, I want something that's like very specifically this. And then you're
trying to find emotions Yeah, like getting the emotion of the
Um,
scene and trying to match it with the music is like, yeah.
I see. I find it to be fun. I think, especially because like so much of my musical life has been like songwriting and like
Mm-hmm.
writing things that feel like an expression of myself. It's really fun to look at making music as more of like a puzzle of like, how can I make music fit into this visual context, and I'm not even worried about myself in it. Like I feel like it's funny because it's like so it's like taking music and putting it into this like very functional context, but at the same time there's something really nice about like taking your ego out of it and just like making music that serves a purpose. Like there is something actually very beautiful about that, instead of like, I feel like you're selling out your music or whatever. Like it's just like you're I don't know, using it in like the context of like, I'm using music to make some money and like do a job, and but it's honestly, it's fun. It's a fun challenge. It's a fun puzzle. Making music is fun, and being able to like, you know, have a challenge and have a problem that you have to solve using music is something that I enjoy very much. If anyone is listening to this and wants to give me work, please do.
Yeah, let's get you some gigs. Well, that's awesome.
Funny. I posted something on Twitter maybe in the past several months. I have really no sense of time. And I was like, hey, like if anyone wants to, like, I'll do scores, I'll do all these things, and like so many people reached out to me.
Really?
But like with the idea that like I would do it for free, and I was like, no, sorry, that's not what I was saying. I was like, I need work. I need work right now. I'm not looking for like just like a lot of free labor I can do for random people.
Yeah.
Which, like, of course, like, respect.
Yeah.
Like, I totally get it, but like it was just very funny. I'm like, no, that's not what I was saying. That's not what I was saying.
That's awesome. Yeah, how do you feel about Patreon and things like that? I feel like everyone's getting a Patreon now. I
just started a Patreon. I'm actually doing my first thing with it tomorrow. Friday the 9th of October.
Cool. That's right.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, we'll see if it works. I generally try to avoid things that make me be at a computer, but also I have to do that. I have to. So tomorrow I'm like doing this like monthly thing where because I kind of like, I like write my songs and then I kind of forget about them until I have to teach them to my backing band. And then I forget about them again. So the thing is, I'm doing like once a month, I'm going to do this live stream where I relearn one of my songs.
Oh, that's awesome.
An audience.
Through Zoom?
Because I just like, I can't remember how to play. No, I'm going to do it through YouTube.
Cool.
Like an unlisted YouTube live stream that is going to go through Patreon. And yeah, it's $3 a month. That's to get access to that. And then I think I'm going to, if that goes well, then I'm going to do this other thing, which ends, I think it's like $8 a month to be on this, where I'll do it twice a month stream of just mornings with Jerry, where we'll just chat about stuff.
Cool.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I hope I like it. I hope it's all right.
I talked to Dent May, and Dent May's advice was like, just do what you can. Don't over, like, I'm blanking on the word, but don't over say you're gonna do too much.
It.
Yeah. Don't over.
That's what Dent was saying about
his Patreon.
Dent's Patreon. Yeah.
He's like, don't, because he's like, I'm doing a mix every week.
I feel like, because I was like, I feel like Dent was the first person who I saw was like, who's doing that, and I was like, I guess I should probably do that. No, I can't tour. I got to do something. I got to do something to remind people that I exist.
It's fun. It's like it's fun. It's like, it's not Instagram. It's not these. It's like people who want to be with you.
Yes.
You know? And they want to support you, and it feels nice. And it feels weird as an artist to ask for money. I have a problem with asking for a lot of things, but money is one of those things. I'm like, I don't know why I still feel that way.
Yeah, I think for me the main difficulty is like I have to make it worth people's money. Like
Yes.
I feel like so much pressure to be like I have to do something good. Like I can't release music because I'm in a record contract.
Yes.
So it has to be something that I can do that doesn't involve making new music. So it's just yeah, I don't know. I've felt a lot of pressure on myself to make sure it's good. So hopefully it is good, and I'm happy about that, and so are the people who are paying $3.
Totally. It's very common to feel that we never feel like you're giving enough. Like, I hope this is worth $3, but at the end of the day, it is. It's your time. It's your art. Like, we love your songs. I want to hear how you wrote some of these songs. Like, yeah.
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 I know.
Totally worth it.
It's funny also because like the Eternal Family thing is $5 a month, and most people don't know what it is, and it's just funny because it's like so much work goes into that. Like we really like spend. I mean, I don't do as much work as my collaborator Dan Straight, who just spends so much time editing and all these things. Like he's really the person who.
Oh, the edits are so great
most of the time. But yeah, it's just funny to like put so much work into something that you really get so. I mean, the fulfillment, and it's like so fun to do. It's great, but also like you get so little monetary compensation for so much.
I know. Well, I love your Patreon idea, man. So we'll definitely promote the Patreon, and by the time this comes out, it will be out, and you will be doing it.
Yeah.
This will come.
Yeah, I mean, you can subscribe now. Hopefully, I like it, and I keep doing it.
All right.
That is my hope.
Well, besides the Patreon, what would you say is the best way to support you right now in these times?
I mean, listen to my music, listen to Abracadabra. I think it's good.
I think it's good too.
A good time making it. I mean, I really, I don't know. It's weird because I also feel like there's been less engagement with the album because of no touring. So it almost feels like I spent like 2 years making something that then I just like threw out, and I'm like, okay, enjoy, and then I can't even tell if anyone's listening to it or anything. Like, so it feels, that feels a little frustrating. So please listen to that.
Yeah,
please listen to my new album, which I think it's still technically new, even though it came out like 4 months ago.
Very new. It doesn't feel new because that's just the way the world works now, but it's very new.
It's very new. But yeah, listen to that. Get an Eternal TV subscription. Watch that. You can just send me money in general.
Yeah.
Or you could also just not do that. I mean, it's fine. You don't have to. It's not a big deal. Probably better to just donate to a mutual aid fund.
Totally.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, just listen to my music. That's all I really care about.
Well, yeah. Well, on that note, thank you so much for doing this. This was so fun.
Yeah. Thanks for asking.
Yeah.